imagine like getting into venture capital, but it always seemed like kind of this, exclusive club, like only for the super rich.
Yeah.
But what if there was a way you could back the next, big startup
Right.
for as little as like $1,000?
Yeah.
That's what we're diving into today.
Okay.
The world of syndicates. And let me tell you, it's changing the game big time.
It is, yeah. It's not your typical Wall Street venture capital fund.
Right.
Syndicates are, I guess you could say, like crowdfunding
Oh, yeah.
on steroids.
Yeah.
But instead of backing some, creative project, you're pooling money with other investors
Okay.
to bet on promising startups.
So we found this incredible video, and it's all about this guy, Alex, who built a $60 million startup investment fund using syndicates.
Right.
And here's the crazy part. He did it all while holding down a full-time job.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of makes you think,
Yeah.
like maybe this whole venture capital thing is actually within reach.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a great example of how things are changing.
Mhm.
Alex didn't have any special connections or a ton of money to just throw around when he first started.
Yeah. So what was his secret? How'd he do it?
He became a deal scout.
Oh, a deal scout. What's that? Like a talent scout, but for startups
Exactly.
instead of singers or athletes.
Yeah. Venture capital firms are always searching for the next big thing,
Right. Of course.
but they can't be everywhere at once.
Right.
So Alex saw an opportunity to kind of be their eyes and ears on the ground.
Oh, so he'd bring him deals.
Exactly. Consistently bringing them promising startups.
Oh, wow.
He built up a reputation as someone who could spot those hidden gems.
So even without a big checkbook,
Right.
he could still kind of get a seat at the table.
Yeah.
Just by bringing something valuable, proving his worth.
Exactly. Venture capital is all about relationships and trust. By consistently delivering quality leads, Alex positioned himself as a valuable partner, someone those VC firms could rely on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But finding these hidden gem startups is only the first step, right?
Right.
He still had to figure out how to get other investors on board to actually fund these deals.
Yeah.
So how did he do that?
So he went from finding the potential investments
Right.
to leading these investment groups,
Okay.
these syndicates.
Yeah.
He had a really strategic approach.
Okay.
There were 3 key steps:
Right.
networking,
Okay.
identifying promising startups, and then using something called special purpose vehicles, or
Yeah.
SPVs,
Oh, those SPV.
to pool the funds.
Okay. Let's take a closer look at each of those steps.
Sure.
We already talked about how important networking is,
Yeah.
not just for finding deals,
Right.
but also for building trust with potential investors.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's crucial on both ends.
Yeah, it's kind of a two-way street.
Okay.
You need to connect with founders, other investors,
Right.
venture capitalists,
Right.
to access those potential investments. But then you also need to convince other investors that you're the right person to lead the syndicate,
Right.
that you have the knowledge and the judgment to make smart decisions.
Makes sense. But with so many startups out there, how do you even know where to start? Like, how did Alex separate the good from the bad?
He actually developed a really rigorous system for evaluating startups.
Oh, so he had like a checklist?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have 4 main criteria.
Okay.
First was founder's experience.
Oh, that makes sense.
Have they successfully, navigated the startup world before? Do they have the grit and the know-how to weather the storms?
Yeah. Experience definitely makes a difference. I know I would feel a lot more comfortable investing in someone who's been there and done that. What else was on his checklist?
Market size.
Oh, okay.
Is the startup addressing a billion-dollar problem?
Right.
There's no point in investing in a niche product
Right.
with limited growth potential.
You want something big.
Right. Yeah. So he was looking for those future unicorns, the companies that could truly disrupt an industry.
Looking for that massive growth potential.
Yeah.
Got it. What were the other 2 factors?
Early signs of success.
Okay.
Are customers already paying for the product?
Oh, interesting.
Is there traction in the market?
Yeah.
It's not just about the idea,
Right.
but about validating that idea and making sure that it actually resonates with users.
So he's looking for proof of concept, not just hype.
Exactly.
Okay, that's smart. What was his final criteria?
He paid close attention to who else was investing.
Oh, okay.
So if an established venture capital firm was already on board, that was a huge signal for him.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about the idea itself.
Right.
It's about seeing who else believes in it.
Right.
Like a vote of confidence
Exactly.
from the experts. Okay, so even with all those factors in place, you still need a way to pool the money from multiple smaller investors to participate in these deals. That's where these SPVs, these special purpose vehicles, come in.
Right. They might sound complicated,
Yeah.
but they're not as intimidating as they seem.
Can you break them down for us in simple terms? I know I'm not the only one who needs help understanding these things.
So think of it like forming a team
Okay.
for a fantasy sports league.
Oh, okay.
You pool your money together with your friends
Right.
to draft a specific set of players. An SPV is similar.
Okay.
It's a separate legal entity
Okay.
created specifically for a single investment.
Oh, I see.
So it allows a group of investors, each putting in a smaller amount,
Right.
to collectively invest in a startup.
So it's like creating a mini investment fund
Today.
just for that specific deal.
Yeah.
And that's how you can get in the game with, say, $1,000
Right.
instead of needing millions.
Exactly.
Got it. So platforms like AngelList and Carta have made setting up these SPVs much easier and more accessible.
They have.
But it sounds like this whole process from building your network
Yeah.
to finding startups to setting up the SPVs, it takes time
It does.
and dedication.
yes, you're not going to become a syndicate leader overnight.
Right. It's all about building expertise
Yeah.
and a reputation over time.
Yeah.
But from what I'm hearing, the potential rewards could be incredible.
They can be.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty
Okay.
of the financials. What's the incentive for all this work? You're putting in the time to scout deals, build the network, manage these SPVs.
Yeah.
There's got to be a payoff, right?
Right. There is. Yeah.
What's the incentive? Like, what's in it for the syndicate lead?
The big reward for syndicate leads comes from what's called carry,
Carry.
which is short for carried interest.
Okay.
Basically, you're not just investing in these startups.
Mhm.
You're also taking a percentage of the profits when they have a successful exit.
Hold on. A percentage of the profits.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty lucrative.
Yeah.
How does that actually work?
Okay. So think of it like this. Imagine you're the captain of a ship
Okay.
and you discover buried treasure.
Okay.
You'd get a bigger share of the loot.
Right. Because you led the expedition.
Exactly. Because you led the expedition and took on the risk of finding it.
Okay.
Carry works similarly in the world of syndicates.
Okay.
So you're taking on the risk of identifying promising startups, leading the investment.
Okay.
So you get a bigger piece of the pie if those startups hit it big.
So it's not just about getting your initial investment back.
Right.
It's about potentially earning a significant chunk of the profits.
Exactly.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
So what's the typical carry structure for syndicate leads? Like, how much do they actually take?
Typically, syndicate leads take a 20% carry
20%.
on the profits when a startup is acquired or goes public.
Wow, 20%. That's a pretty big chunk.
It is.
Let's make this real for our listener.
Okay.
Let's say you invested $10,000 in a startup through a syndicate, and that startup goes on to have a $1 billion exit.
Yeah.
What would your potential return look like?
Well, in that scenario, your initial $10,000 investment could potentially turn into $1 million.
$1 million.
And as the syndicate lead who brought the deal together and managed the SPV, you would earn a 20% carry on those profits,
Wow.
which translates to a cool $200,000.
Okay, so that's serious money.
It is.
And the video mentioned that Alex has led syndicates for something like 275 startups.
Yeah.
I mean, it's starting to make sense how he built that $60 million fund.
Yeah.
But I do have to ask,
Yeah.
20% just feels like a big number.
Yeah.
Are there any ethical considerations around syndicate leads taking such a large cut?
That's a really valid question.
Yeah.
The 20% carry is pretty standard
Yeah.
across the industry, both for traditional venture capital funds and for syndicates.
Okay.
It reflects the significant amount of work, expertise, and risk
Right.
that syndicate leads take on.
Okay.
They're putting their reputations on the line.
Carefully selecting startups, managing the entire investment process.
Right.
That 20% incentivizes them to find and back truly game-changing companies.
Yeah.
Because their success is directly tied to the success of the startups they choose.
Right.
But of course, transparency and clear communication with investors is crucial.
Yeah.
Everyone in the syndicate should understand the terms and the fee structure
Right.
before committing any funds.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about making sure everyone's on the same page and understands,
Right.
the potential risks and rewards.
Exactly.
Now, I know we're painting a pretty rosy picture here.
Yeah.
We do have to acknowledge the elephant in the room.
Right.
Not every startup is going to be the next Google or Amazon, right?
Absolutely. Startup investing is inherently risky.
Right.
The vast majority of startups don't become unicorns.
Yeah.
In fact, many fail completely.
Yeah.
So it's essential to approach syndicate leading with a realistic understanding of the risks involved.
Mm-hmm.
You could potentially lose your entire investment. Right.
The diversification is key.
Yeah.
Spreading your investments across multiple startups can help mitigate that risk.
So it's not a guaranteed path to riches.
Right.
It's more like a high-stakes game
Yeah.
with the potential for big returns, but also the potential for losses.
Exactly.
You need to be comfortable with that level of risk.
Yes.
Go in with your eyes wide open.
Exactly. It's important to do your due diligence, thoroughly evaluate each investment opportunity,
Yeah.
and understand your own risk tolerance
Right.
before jumping into the world of syndicates.
Okay.
But even with the risks, there's a lot of excitement and potential surrounding this model.
Yeah.
Syndicates are truly changing the landscape of venture capital, making it accessible to a wider range of investors who might not have had access before.
Yeah, it's like this whole new avenue for wealth creation has opened up.
Right.
It's not just about being an employee or a traditional investor anymore.
Yeah.
You can actually be a player in the game of venture capital,
Exactly.
backing companies that you believe in.
Yeah, and it's not just about the financial gains either.
Right.
It's also about being part of something bigger,
Yeah.
supporting innovation, and having a hand in shaping the future. Syndicates allow investors to align their portfolios with their values,
That's cool.
backing companies that are tackling problems they care about.
Yeah.
It's about more than just making money. It's about making an impact.
You're making me seriously consider dipping my toes into this whole syndicate thing.
Yeah.
I can see the appeal, the potential for, financial gain, the opportunity to support these innovative ideas, the thrill of being part of something groundbreaking.
It's exciting.
It is.
Yeah. Alex's journey started with a simple curiosity about startups and a willingness to learn.
Right.
That's really what it's all about. Don't be afraid to reach out,
Yeah.
connect with people in the startup world,
Okay.
and explore those possibilities.
Yeah.
You never know what doors might open.
It seems like syndicates might just be the tip of the iceberg when it comes to democratizing these investment opportunities.
Yeah.
They're disrupting a system that was once exclusive and opening it up to a broader range of participants.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder what other industries might be ripe for this kind of transformation.
That's a fascinating question to consider.
Yeah, where else do we see traditional gatekeepers holding too much power,
Right.
limiting access and stifling innovation?
Yeah.
Could the principles of syndicates be applied to other areas, leveraging the power of technology and community to break down those barriers?
Yeah.
It's like the old rules are being rewritten right before our eyes.
They are.
It's an exciting time to be someone who wants to shape the future.
It is.
Whether as an investor, an entrepreneur, or simply someone who believes in supporting groundbreaking ideas.
We're already seeing similar trends like in real estate.
Oh, yeah.
And art platforms are popping up that allow people to invest in like fractional ownership of properties
Oh, wow.
or to buy shares in, blue chip paintings.
So they're making those asset classes accessible to a wider audience.
Yeah.
So it's not just venture capital.
Right.
It's about like democratizing access
Yeah.
to wealth building opportunities across the board. It's about empowering people
Right.
to take control of their finances and invest in things they believe in.
Exactly. And for anyone listening who's feeling inspired,
Yeah.
the key takeaway here is this.
Okay.
Stay curious. Keep exploring. Never stop learning.
I like that.
The world is full of opportunities just waiting to be unlocked.
Yeah.
You might stumble upon the next big thing,
Right.
the next industry that's ripe for disruption.
It's all about challenging the status quo,
Yeah,
thinking outside the box and not being afraid to ask, what if?
exactly.
We've seen how Alex cracked the code of venture capital through syndicates, but his journey is just one example
Right.
of how innovation can create new pathways to success.
Exactly. So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive into the world of syndicates,
Yeah.
let's recap those key takeaways.
Right.
What have we learned from Alex's journey
Okay.
that we can apply to our own lives?
So first we learned that syndicates offer this unique pathway to becoming a venture capitalist
Yes.
without needing to be a millionaire.
Right.
It's about pooling resources, investing as a group, and leveraging the collective wisdom and network of the syndicate.
Right.
We also saw how becoming a deal scout can be a really smart strategy to gain access to those exclusive investment opportunities.
Right.
It's about demonstrating your value by finding those hidden gems and bringing them to the table.
Exactly.
And we broke down Alex's 3-step process for building a successful syndicate, networking, identifying those promising startups, and then leveraging those SPVs to pool those smaller investments into a single entity.
Exactly.
And of course, we can't forget about those potential financial rewards, that 20% carry on successful exits. Can be a powerful incentive to find and back those game-changing companies.
Absolutely.
But we also have to remember that, this isn't like a get-rich-quick scheme. Success in the world of syndicates requires patience, due diligence, and a willingness to embrace those risks that come with startup investing. Not every investment is going to be a home run.
No.
You need to be prepared for the possibility of losses.
You do.
So as we leave this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question.
Okay.
Now that you understand how syndicates work and the power they hold, what other areas of your life could benefit from this collaborative approach?
That's a good question.
Maybe there's a project you've been dreaming of launching, a business idea you've been tossing around, but it always felt too daunting to tackle alone. Could you apply the principles of syndicates, gathering a group of like-minded individuals, pooling your resources and expertise?
To make that dream a reality.
It's all about challenging those limiting beliefs, stepping outside your comfort zone, and realizing that you don't have to do everything on your own. The power of community and collaboration can unlock possibilities you never thought possible.
So go out there, explore those possibilities, and remember, the world is full of opportunities just waiting to be discovered.
It is.
The key is to stay curious, stay connected, and never stop learning.
Well said. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the next Alex, building a successful syndicate and backing the companies that shape the future.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of syndicates.
It was my pleasure.